The Apostle Paul told the Corinthians that singleness might well be the best thing for them, as it has been for me.
Bro, what are you talking about?
But if they can't manage their desires and emotions, they should by all means go ahead and get married. The difficulties of marriage are preferable by far to a sexually tortured life as a single. Dude is being extra right now. I mean, sexually tortured as a single? Come on, Paul. Ain't that a bit extreme? Or maybe it's just because we're reading from the Message version. But I don't think in this moment of my life that the difficulties of marriage would be my preference. Hey yo, what's poppin', Papa? My name is Mickler, and I am documenting the journey going from singleness to marriage, honoring God in the process. And the girl that I'm dating, she used the F word on me the other day. She said, let's Why am I getting censored? The girl that I'm dating said, let's Bro, come on. What's going on with this thing? Okay, I'm fronting. The girl said, let's be friends.
You got what I need. But you say I'm just a friend.
All of the hopes that I had shattered with just one phrase. So I took a step back and thought to myself, all right, I'll just stay single then. So in this video, I'm gonna go over 3 reasons why I'm choosing to stay single and why you should consider singleness as well. So reason number 1 is that you learn self-control and you could use that passion elsewhere. Paul tells his co-worker Titus that he should use sound doctrine. Then he breaks down how older men, older women, younger men, and younger women should conduct themselves. Character traits that godly men and women should either have or develop. He tells the older men are to be sober-minded, dignified, self-controlled, sound in faith, in love, and in steadfastness. He then breaks down what older women should be like and younger women, and then he says to the younger men, likewise, urge the younger men to be self-controlled. Yeah, that's it. He just says be self-controlled. Why I think this is imperative is self-control really governs how a man should conduct himself. If a man is not self-controlled when it comes to food, then he's going to give into overeating and struggle with his weight. He's going to give into emotional eating, yo-yo dieting back and forth, and he'll develop comorbidities such as high blood pressure or even type 2 diabetes, and he won't be there for his family, friends for the long run. If a man is not self-controlled when it comes to social media or watching television, then he won't be as productive because he will be distracted, focusing on other things besides that calling, that purpose that God has given him. His focus on the mission and vision that God has set forth for him will become subpar, and it won't be excellent unto the Lord. If a man is not self-controlled when it comes to pornography or masturbation, then he's going to give in to his temptation and his lust, and he'll struggle to see women rightly. He'll just see them as objects to use for his selfish desires versus seeing them precious daughters of the Most High King. So with this section in the Bible, I did a little bit of digging and I came across BibleRef.com, and they provided a little bit more context to this because I am not a scholar, fellas. So I am just going to read off what it says from the website. Paul refers to an unmarried person who burns with passion. The context doesn't suggest someone who is oversexed or obsessed with sexuality. Rather, Paul means this in contrast to someone who has the gift of celibacy. And my understanding from someone who has the gift of celibacy is really they don't have those urges to have sex or to be with the opposite sex. They are completely content with really separating themselves to do the work of the Lord. They don't long for that type of intimate relationship with the opposite sex to be married and have a family, from my understanding. Their family is those people who do the will of God, those other believers who are going after the big mission, the big vision, which is to expand God's kingdom on this earth. A person who feels a strong desire for sexual activity ought to pursue marriage as would any other Christian. Paul does not mean a person ought to rush into marriage simply because they are frequently in the mood. So you fellas, hold your horses, okay? Calm down. He also did not indicate one should seek a spouse so one can have sex. Paul's main concern here has to do with correcting any wrong thinking about reasons to get married or to avoid marriage. Nobody should choose one over the other thinking it inherently more spiritual or more honoring to God. Those choosing to remain unmarried should make that choice based on the gifts God has given them specifically. Those who choose marriage or who are already married, however, should continue to honor their marriage commitments. And I think it was also a good thing to point out is that there are some people who are avoiding marriage, and it could be because they've gone through a traumatic event, or they've witnessed bad marriages, or they grew up in a horrible family, so they just don't want that for themselves, so they are avoiding marriage as well. Or their heart got really broken, and because of it, they decide to just stay single. Maybe like me currently. So if this video has been helpful in transforming the way that you see dating and yourself and what you feel like you should be doing, then I ask that you please like this video so that other people who are on a similar journey can come across this, and we can really figure out this whole single to marriage thing as a Christian together. It's much appreciated. So if one is burning with passion, yet they are choosing not to get married, and they want to steward their singleness and stay single unto the Lord, then you could use that burning passion for something else. In a past video, I talked about semen retention, where it's the concept and the idea that one would refrain from masturbation or ejaculation in order to retain their semen. And the idea is that you would keep your life force inside of you, and that will provide a different type of energy for you to do more work, or a different type of work, or creative work. It will get you on a different wavelength. You will be set apart. And if you're curious to dive more into that concept, then watch that video after this video as I continue to break it down. Another reason why someone would want to choose singleness in this season of their life is that they have more time and an energy to devote to the Lord, to His Word, and to His work. In Ben Stewart's book, Single, Dating, Engaged, Married, he states, "As an unmarried man, are you anxious to find ways to please the Lord? As an unmarried woman, are you straining to consider how you might be holy to the Lord in body and in spirit?" Let me challenge you. If this does not define your singleness, then you are doing singleness wrong. Cutthroat. And then he goes on to say, God has given you singleness to secure an undistracted devotion to the Lord, not to fill your time with distractions. Its purpose is to pursue Him. If you are frustrated or bitter in your singleness, it may be because you are missing the point of why you are single. Bro. Before I got back into dating, I felt like the Lord was calling me to step out in faith and leave my family and pretty much move out, even though I was comfortable saving money and things like that. He wanted me to get out of my comfort zone, get my own place, and really learn responsibility and how to be responsible as a man. I ended up taking a certification course around the same time that would help me break into the tech industry. And yeah, like even that journey itself, like I was praying to the Lord, like, hey God, out of all the jobs, out of all the places I want to work for, I want to work at this specific place. And that was crazy, where it was like the door was closed at that journey. I met the CEO, and then like, yeah, it ended up opening up again, and then I finally got the job at this dream company with a dream team. But with all of that happening, the time that I spent with the Lord was pretty much on the back burner. Bro, I'm a time with the Lord ended up becoming on the back burner. Bro, I'm such a
Exactly, that the gloves that I use in clitoris is I like that glove, is my glove. So
the time with the Lord ended up on the back burner, where it was almost non-existent, in a sense of like, I used to spend hours just reading the word, journaling, and praying and meditating, because I had free time, I had my own business and stuff like that. But with all of this transition, that was the thing that diminished from my routine. So I'm actually super grateful for dating this girl, because she reminded me like, hey, that stuff is important. Like, you should prioritize some of that time. So it was like, all right, she right. So I ended up like waking up early in order to do it again. And man, how I've missed it. It's so crazy how like we can easily forget how amazing being in God's presence is, because of all the other things that are happening in our life, all the other responsibilities, all the other distractions, all the other cares and anxieties of the world. But yeah, being single and focusing on the Lord, time in the Word, processing and journaling your thoughts and emotions, and just seeking to be more and more like Him, there's nothing better than this. So it's been really helpful no longer talking to the other girl, texting, calling, FaceTiming past our bedtimes, because now I'm able to go back to that routine where I cut off at a certain time at night, and I'm avoiding screens, and I am just having my nighttime routine, so I can wake up super early and have that undistracted, quiet time with the Lord, which is, again, so amazing. If you watched the past video of mine where I was talking about how much should a girl be on your mind, I think really if the Lord has taken precedence over your life with your time, energy, your attention, and then the work that He's calling you to do, then actually the girl is going to get less and less of that time, attention, and energy. So really, God and the work He's calling you should take majority of your headspace. And the girl that you are liking and dating and talking to should be kind of like down here in a sense, while the work and the Lord Himself should be taking precedence. But that does not mean you neglect the woman. I believe that she is very much deserving of focused, valuable time and attention that makes it all worthwhile. And that's another topic for another video. But this leads me to reason number 3, and it's that you have more time to devote to the work, God's work that He is calling you to do, the assignment that He has in your life, the calling that you are going after, that big purpose that He already put inside of your heart to go after. So in that time when I took an 8-year break from dating, I thought it was very necessary for me to devote myself to the Lord. One, to spend time with Him and grow closer to Him, learn more about Him, learn my identity in Him, but also to do His work that He was calling me to do, develop my prophetic gifting and encourage others as well as serve others in a specific ministry. I was in the youth group for years, and it was very powerful time, and it was worthwhile. But in that time, it wasn't like I wasn't thinking about dating or putting myself out there. It was just becoming a choice. And it became profound for me to just really step into that when I went to some type of event, like prophetic event or whatever. And this is when like Stephanie Gretzinger was very popular, and she was there singing like King of My Heart, I think was the song. And she's on stage. Oh no, she was doing some freestyle stuff, or like, it was dope, man. It was really, she's an awesome lady. And I ended up getting this vision where I saw myself in the garden, and there was like animals everywhere and awesome plants, and just like, it was beautiful nature. And in that, I saw Jesus in that garden, in that field, and me and him were just having like the time of our lives. We were just playing around, laughing and smiling, cracking jokes. And I realized that it wasn't me, it was Adam in the garden. Just him and Jesus. Adam and Jesus together. Adam and God together in the garden doing the work. He was naming the animals, and it was just them two. It wasn't anyone else. Eve was not on the scene yet. And with that, I was like, man, that's right. Like, I should focus on the work right now. Like, Adam was given Eve not because Adam felt lonely. It was because God said that it is not good for man to be alone. But Adam was caught up in the things of God. He was having this amazing relationship with the Lord, and he was doing the work that he called him to do, tending to the garden, naming the animals. So it was like, man, yeah, like, I'm going to do that too. Let me focus on the work, and when God feels the time is ready, he'll make it happen. So again, inside of this book, man, I highly recommend. Ben Stewart is fire. But he says, before Eve came along, Adam named a ton of animals while he was single. You can get a lot done in your singleness, but you must pursue an undistracted devotion to the Lord, not pursue distractions to fill the time. So there is such a huge benefit when your time and attention isn't split among different things. If it is just set apart for really cultivating a relationship with the Lord, especially if it's not how it used to be, or if you are just wanting and desiring to just become closer to him, and especially if you currently aren't working on the assignment that God has called you to, or if you even lack clarity as to what your purpose is, or you lack clarity as to what he is calling you to do, then you should use this time to be focused and spend time with him, so that you can get these downloads to understand what it is that you should be going after. Engage in the work, my boy. Devotion to the Lord is cultivated not only in study, but also out in the field. We grow in our knowledge and love of God as we engage both his word and his work. If you were living in the first century and you wanted to walk with Jesus, you would need to search for him among the poor. Jesus traveled among those in need. In the same way today, if you want to be devoted to the Lord, know that he will constantly call you toward those who are spiritually, emotionally, and physically in need. Man. So, again, we cultivate a time with the Lord in the Word, praying, meditating, but we also have to be doers of the Word, not just hearers of the Word. So we go out and we go to the field. And like Ben Stewart mentioned, like, if you wanted to be close to Jesus, then you would have been where Jesus was, where he was with the people who were spiritually, emotionally, and physically poor. So go after that. Figure out what you can do to be where Jesus is at. There's a lot of benefits when it comes to singleness. So I am volunteering myself as tribute to learn.
I volunteer as tribute.
And present my findings to you. So, you're welcome. So I encourage you to stay the course, my boy, because it will all be worth it. And I'm telling you, but I'm really telling myself, alright? So peace and love until the next one, y'all. I'm out. Bro, what are you doing right now? Nothing, just messaging someone. Messaging who? On where? This girl on that Christian dating app. Didn't you just tell the people that you weren't going to date anymore? You need to do some explaining, bro. So, explain it in this video. Yeah.